What's up, guys? This is the Lucarelli and Cristaldi Branchbrook circuit race, the first of their series in the park. It was my second ever race and my first time riding this course ever at Branchbrook. It was a 40-minute race, about 17 miles, a little more, I think, 8 laps. It was a 2 mile course, very flat, no hills. It was a fast course. I think we averaged around 26 or 27 miles per hour. Um, the course is, like I said, very flat, 2 mile loop, no hills or anything. A little windy down the back straight. You can't really tell on the map, but there's a couple little left and rights. It gets a little windy, and then the big kind of feature or consequential moment of this course is the sharp left-hand corner on the back side of the course. There's a stop sign that sticks out right near the inside of the corner. And taking that inside line, you definitely get pretty close to it. I heard someone got hit by it actually. Um, this race stayed together. The bunch stayed together for the majority of the race. It was a Cat 4-5 race, so my first time racing versus not just Cat 5, some 4s as well. It was a 35 person field, if I'm not wrong. And it was very different than racing in the normal Prospect Park, like my first race 2 weeks ago, the Brooklyn Icebreaker in Prospect Park, and also very different to Central Park because there was no hills. It was much quicker, narrower roads. The one technical, pretty sketchy corner. But yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so here's the first corner that I was talking about. You see, as it's my first time coming through it, these big gaps are opening up. I have to shoot up to 700 watts, and this was a theme definitely throughout the entire race of these gaps opening up after that corner. This first time around, I sat in the first 2 laps, just stayed in the wheel. Attacks weren't really flying, just conserving energy, but it definitely meant those first 2 times through that corner. Um, I couldn't take, my first choice line. I was limited to what the person in front of me was taking. So if I'll look back at that again, just a second. Also, you can notice the stop sign. So you see, as we come into it, I'd rather be on the far right curb and come across the apex, but I'm stuck kind of in the inside, have to grab some brakes, come around, and then big gaps start to open up in front of me as people are dropping the wheel and not taking that corner well, and then I have to surge up to 700 watts. So it really paid off to be near the front or at the front going through that corner because you were able to conserve your speed through the corner and then not have to surge up, and not have to close these gaps that opened up. So I definitely got better at taking that corner near the end of the race, but it was, rainy, wet, a little sketchy, so definitely took some getting used to. A little bit later into the race now, I'm on the wheel of this guy with the Chrome Trek Madone in front of me, this guy Luis. He ended up winning, spoilers. But I'd heard he was really strong before the race, and I see him moving up. So I definitely decide I'm gonna stick with this and follow this down. He's a super smooth rider. He just kind of like glided off the front when he was attacking. And I also thought this was a good move to follow, right before the kind of technical turn that I was talking about. Um, so we can see here, as we come into the corner, um, how this one, as I'm at the front, it's kind of single file, a little strung out, how we take this corner a lot better, and also how Luis, the guy in the front, decides to attack out of the corner, which I thought was a really good place to attack. So you see I come in, open up a little gap, and then Luis, you can see him attacking off the front. This little gap between me and I took the corner pretty decently, I think, and I still had to surge to 700. So, anyone who took that corner bad there, or yeah, just had a bad line, couldn't take a good corner because they were in the pack, definitely got an accordion effect there, um, and had to close down a lot bigger gap. But now you see kind of the theme. No one really wanted to work together in this race. No break really stuck or anything. So you just kind of had some people coming over the top of Luis after his attack out of the corner there. No real, I don't know, rotation on the front or anything. You also see this Army West Point guy in front of me. They had some solid representation in the race, maybe 3 or 4, the only real team represented. And yeah, they had a couple strong guys too. So coming into this last corner, I thought I was in pretty good position. And as we take it, the rider in front of me brakes a little. I have to jam my brakes, and then Luis, a really strong rider, attacks. Obviously, I have to follow. I shoot up to 1,000 watts. I don't think I followed as well or as good as I could have, going around the right of that rider and then having to close down this gap. If I went on his left, maybe I think I could have just gone right on the Army guy's wheel, but you can kind of see the gap starting to open up as Luis just hammers, and also gaps behind us, as because like I said, that corner, it was really consequential, and I couldn't take a good line through it because the guy in front of me took a bad line through it, and just my positioning, and it allowed these gaps to open up, and you see Luis creating this really big gap off the front. I've made it onto the second Army rider's wheel. I'm currently in 5th position. I ended up finishing this race in 6th, and like, this gap in front, I don't know if I could have closed it now solo, so I'm just praying this Army guy can put in his best work. I'm getting ready to sprint with whatever legs I have left. I come out of his wheel for a minute. That wasn't too good. And I can tell he's starting to hurt a lot. I mean, I'm hurting from this effort. Just trying to stay in his wheel as long as possible and then trying to get around him, because I don't think I can close this gap up in front of me. And then I see a couple riders coming from the left, and I realize, okay, I gotta go now. I put my head down and sprint with the rest of my legs I have left. I know it's not the best footage right now, but I do end up coming around the Army rider and getting the little bike throw for sixth. So I thought it was a decent race. It was a very different race than the Prospect or Central Park races here at Branchbrook. Very flat. Yeah, I was happy with 6, but I feel like I could have done better with better positioning in that final corner and being on Luis's wheel on the outside and then following his attack a lot smoother and having to spend less energy and riding his wheel to the finish. I think that's something I need to work on in the last K or last 1,000 meters, just by positioning and following the right wheels and awareness. I think I did an okay job, but I could have been better. I was able to position myself at the front of the race coming into that last corner, but I could have positioned myself better at the front of the race, and ended up with a better wheel to follow and a better result. I raced the Lucarelli and Castelli number 1 series in Prospect Park the next day, which is today when I'm recording this. That will be coming out soon. And yeah, if you guys have any comments or suggestions, please let me know.